In the heart of Africa, surrounded by the gentle hum of nature, lay a small village named Obazo. This village is known for its winding path of crystal clear river. The village lived in harmony with the land, cultivating crops, raising livestock, and celebrating the rich tradition passed down through generations. Among the villagers were Sonny and Ego, a couple who loved kindness, were as enduring as the ancient trees that shaded their home. Ego was a woman of striking beauty, her dark skin glowing in the sunlight and her eyes reflecting the depth of her compassion. She knows for her nurturing spirit, always ready to lend a hand or a comforting word. Sonny, her husband, was a man of strength and wisdom. A broad-shouldered and strong arms bore the marks of years of hard work, and his gentle smile was a source of reassurance to many. For over 20 years, Sonny and Ego had shared their lives and their dreams. They had hope to fill their homes with the laughter and joy of children. But despite their prayers and the many remedies they had tried, Sonny remained childless. This sorrow lay heavy in their hearts, a silent ache that shadowed their days, yet they did not let it diminish their spirit. Instead, they poured their love into the community, finding joy and happiness in the life of others. Their home, a modest but welcoming hut, was a beacon of generosity. Ego's cooking in the village brought comfort to the weary and nourishment to the hungry. She would often prepare extra portion, knowing that someone in need will find their way to her doorstep. Sonny, with his strong hand and unyielding determination, was always ready to help repair, build a new structure, or lend support in any way he could. In Obazo, the village thrived not just because of the land's bounty, but because of the people like Sonny and Ego who embodied the spirit of community and compassion. Sonny's kindness and community service every day in Obazo began with a soft glow of dawn. Ego would rise early, her movements graceful and deliberate. As she prepared for the day, she would light a fire and set about making breakfast. The scent of freshly baked bread and a nice aroma of stew filling their home and spilling out into the village. As the sun climbed higher, children would gather at Sonny and Ego's hut, their faces bright with anticipation. Ego's warmth was a magnet drawing them in. She would greet each child with a hug or a pat on the head. Her eyes twinkled with affection. They would sit in a circle around her, their small hands grabbing bowls of steaming porridge as she told them stories of their ancestors, of brave warriors and wise elders, of the spirit of the land and the sky. Sonny would be outside working tirelessly to maintain their home and help their neighbors. His strength and skill were well known, and he was often called upon to assist with building projects or repairs. He would work side by side with other men of the village, their laughter and banter echoing through the air as they labored. Despite their busy lives, Sonny and Ego always find time to support each other. They shared a deep unspoken bond, a partnership built in love and strengthened by their shared experience. Together, they were cornerstones of their community, their acts of kindness touching the lives of everyone around them. One beautiful morning, as Sonny and Ego were finishing their breakfast, they heard excited noise from the villagers. Word had spread that a traveling preacher was on his way to Obazo. After hearing the marvelous things he did in the neighboring village through the help of God, this preacher was said to be a man of great wisdom and power, a healer whose touch could cure the sick and whose words could soothe the troubled soul. The villagers were amazed with anticipation as the day of the preacher's arrival drew near. Sonny and Ego, ever generous, decided to prepare a special place for him. They set to work, transforming a small unused hut into a cozy retreat. Ego decorated it with vibrant textures and fresh flowers, infusing the space with her signature warmth and care. Sonny ensured that the hut was very comfortable, repairing any damage and adding extra touches to make the preacher feel at home. The day finally arrived, though. Villagers gathered at the outskirts of Obazo to welcome the preacher. He appeared on the horizon, a solitary figure walking with a calm and purposeful stride. As he drew closer, the villagers could see that he was a tall man, his skin brightened by the sun and his eyes shining with a serene wisdom. His presence introduced a quiet strength and tranquility. Sonny and Ego stepped forward to greet him, their hearts filled with a mixture of relevance and curiosity. The preacher smiled warmly as they approached. His eyes looked at the corners. He introduced himself as Evangelist Jackson, and his voice, though soft, carried a weight of authority and kindness. "Welcome to our village, Evangelist Jackson," Ego said, her voice gentle and sincere. "We are honored to have you here. Please come with us. We have prepared a place for you to rest." Evangelist Jackson nodded, his gaze sweeping over the villagers he had gathered to meet him. "Thank you," he replied. "I am grateful for your hospitality. May your kindness be returned to you many times over." As they led him to the hut, Jackson took in the surroundings, and his eyes lingering on the children playing nearby, the elders sitting in shade, and the women tending to their chores. He could sense the deep bonds of community and the spirit of generosity that permeated the village. When they reached the hut, Jackson paused, taking a moment to appreciate the care that had gone into preparing it. "This is a place of great peace," he said softly. "I feel your love and kindness in every corner. Thank you, Sonny and Ego, for your generosity." Sonny blushed slightly and Ego bowed his head in acknowledgement. "It is our pleasure," Ego said. "We are glad to have you here and hope that you will find rest and comfort among us." Evangelist Jackson's presence brought a sense of calm and hope to all Basel, the village. The villagers gathered around him, eager to hear his word and seek his blessings. They brought their sick and their trouble to him, and he welcomed each one with a gentle touch and a kind word. Evangelist Jackson, the preacher, held crusades all through the 6 days. It was filled with the sound of his voice and the gentle hum of his healing touch. He would raise with the sun, his presence, a quiet force of calm and assurance. Each morning he would walk through the village, greeting the early risers and offering blessings to those he met. The sick and the suffering came to him, their faces ached with pain and hope. Evangelist Jackson's touch was gentle, his hands steady and warm. He would listen intently to their ailments, his eyes filled with empathy and understanding. With a few quiet words and a soft prayer, he would lay his hands upon them, and miraculously their pain would ease, their wounds would heal, and their spirit would lift. One afternoon, a mother brought a young daughter to Jackson. The child has been ill for weeks, her small body weakened by fever and her eyes dull with exhaustion. The mother's face was a mask of worry and desperation, her hope hanging by a thread. "Please," she whispered, her voice choked with emotion, "help my child. She has been suffering for so long. I don't know what else to do." Evangelist Jackson knelt beside the child, his eyes gentle and compassionate. He places his hand on her forehead, feeling the heat of the fever beneath his touch. He closed his eyes and murmured a prayer, his voice a soothing balm in the air. Slowly the child's breathing steadied and the fever began to recede. Her eyes fluttered open, and for the first time in weeks they were bright and clear. "Thank you," the mother cried, tears streaming down her face. "Thank you so much, for you have saved her." Evangelist Jackson smiled, his eyes shining with a quiet joy. "It is not I who heals," he said softly. "The healing comes from God Almighty. I am merely a vessel. Have faith and your child will continue to grow strong." Words of Jackson's healing spread quickly, and soon people from other neighboring villages began to arrive, seeking his touch and his wisdom. Each evening as the sun dipped below the horizon, the villagers would gather to listen to his sermon. He spoke of love and faith, of the importance of kindness and compassion. His words were simple but profound, resonating deeply in everyone who heard them. Sonny and Ego watched with awe and gratitude as their village was transformed by Jackson's presence. The air seemed lighter, filled with a sense of hope and renewal. They marveled at the way he touched each life, bringing healing and comfort with his gentle hands and words. On the last evening of his stay in the village, as they gathered for one final sermon, the atmosphere was charged with a blend of anticipation and reverence. The sun had set and the canopy of stars stretched across the sky, casting a soft glow over all Basel. A large fire crackled at the center of the village, its warm light shining over over the faces of the villagers, who sat a wide circle around Jackson. Sonny and Ego found their place among the crowd, their hands entwined as they listened. Evangelist Jackson stood before them, his figure illuminated by the firelight, a serene and humble presence amidst the eager faces turned towards him. He took a deep breath, his eyes sweeping over the villagers, taking in their expressions of hope and curiosity. Tonight, I wish to speak to you about the power of kindness. Evangelist Jackson began, his voice carrying softly through the night air. In my travels, I have seen many places and met many people. I have witnessed both suffering and joy. I have come to understand that kindness is the most powerful force we possess. It transcends the boundaries and speaks directly to the heart. He paused, letting his words settle in the quiet night, the crackling of the fire, and only sound that filled the silence. Kindness is a gift we give not just to others, but also to ourselves, he continued. It is a reflection of love and compassion within us. It can heal wounds that seem beyond repair and bridge divides that seems insurmountable. And it is an act of kindness, not matter how small, that we find our true purpose. Jackson's gaze settled on Sonny and Ego, who felt a warm, gentle wave of emotion wish over them as his words touched the heart. I have seen such kindness here in this village, Evangelist Jackson said, his eyes shining with genuine appreciation. Sonny and Ego, your generosity and love have created a heaven of peace and joy. Your actions have touched many lives, including mine, and I am deeply grateful. Ego felt tears welling up in her eyes, squeezed Sonny's hand tightly. Sonny nodded, his throat tight with emotion. They had never sought recognition for their kindness. They simply did what they believed was right. But hearing the preacher's word filled them with a profound sense of fulfillment and gratitude. And now the preacher continued, I wish to offer a blessing. Sonny and Ego, please come forward. With a mix of surprise and humility, the couple rose and made their way to the preacher. The villagers watched in silence, their faces reflecting the deep respect and admiration they felt for the couple. Jackson reached out and took their hands, his touch warm and reassuring. You have given so much to others, he said softly. Tonight, I ask the heavens to bestow upon you the blessings you so richly deserve. He closed his eyes and raised his voice in a quiet prayer. His words a soft murmur that seemed to blend with the rustling leaves and the gentle whisper of the night breeze. Sonny and Ego stood still, their hearts beating in unison, their spirit lifted by the sincerity of the preacher's blessing. When he finished, Jackson opened his eyes and smiled at them, his expression one of deep peace and certainty. May your heart's desires be fulfilled, he said, his voice filled with a genuine assurance. And may the blessings you have bestowed upon others return to you 1,000-fold. The couple thanked the preacher. Their voices trembled with emotion. They returned to their place among the villagers, feeling as though a great weight had been lifted from their shoulders, replaced by a sense of hope and anticipation they had not felt in years.